for breakfast I'm having 2 eggs, 1 bacon, 1/4 cup of the whole milk yogurt, 1/4 cup of low-fat cottage cheese, and I sweeten that up with some lemon skinny syrup, 1/2 cup of blackberries, 1/2 of a low-carb muffin, because a whole muffin is 5 points, but a half is 2 points, so that's okay for me. I also have a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, which is actually 0 points on my plan. And that's really a nice little topping. And I'm having some of my favorite tea, Constant Comment. It is decaf, and I'm going to sweeten it up with some of these sweet drops. This is English toffee flavor. These are really quite good. I picked this up at Whole Foods, and I'm also going to add some of the Nut Pods creamer to my tea. And that's going to be my breakfast. All right, I know my lunch is kind of weird, but really it satisfies. So I have like 5 sardines in here, 1/2 ounce of pork rinds, 1/2 ounce of aged cheddar, and 3 celeries with 1 tablespoon of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of PB Fit, and a splash of the skinny syrups, caramel flavor. And it makes a bit of a frosting that goes on this celery. And this is just extremely filling, and it keeps me. Also finishing the rest of this sugar-free root beer, and I also had 1/2 of a keto bar. Okay, so for dinner I have this cauliflower keto crust, cauliflower, and it is, here's the macros down here, 1 gram of net carbs per serving, 90 calories, 8 grams of protein, and 1/3 of the crust is a serving. And so I've got just a little bit of a Prego sauce on there. Got mozzarella cheese, Jimmy Dean turkey sausage, and turkey pepperoni on here. And I'm gonna have some a Caesar salad for an accompaniment. Okay, so the kids are gonna have these Texas toast croutons on their salad, but they really add up in points. Especially from the diabetic plan and carbs. So that's what they're going to have. And Honey and I will use the Parmesan cheese crisps, and just a very small amount, because those add up in points as well on our salad for croutons. Morning. It is a new day, and I thought that I would start the day by hopping on the treadmill, and I got about 20 minutes. I started slow, and then I picked it up to about 3.5 or so and kept it going for about 20 minutes. And then I was really hungry before this, but I was famished afterwards, so I made myself a quick smoothie, which I'm going to spill all over the place this morning. Hey everybody, good morning. It is Thursday morning, and I'm sitting here on the porch soaking in some sun, listening to the birds in the morning, and just finished my smoothie, so I'm going to get ready and start doing my gardening and getting the kids going, doing their chores. Then we got a homeschool, and I got some things to do today. But anyway, I just wanted to touch base. This morning I almost, I was going to make like a real fancy baked low carb breakfast, and I discovered I was super hungry. So I went with Old Trusty, and this low carb raspberry smoothie does the job every time. So got plenty of hydration going on. I think I had a whoosh this morning. I woke up and I felt slimmer and lighter. Did I get on the scale? No, I did not, because I don't want to play that game. I already weighed yesterday. I'll wait till next week. So here come a whole bunch of birds. They're doing mating dances now. A lot of these blackbirds. I'm going to put my glasses on. It's kind of bright out here. Anyway, Yeah, let's see what the day brings. I did not make a menu for the week, so I'm kind of winging it. But I'm staying low carb, you know what I mean? And it's not like it's hard anymore. I kind of feel like this is just how I eat. It's just how I eat. And whether I go out or I'm at home, I make the swaps and I make the choices. And if it's not low carb, I don't eat it. It's just the way that it is. And if it's not low carb and I want it, then there's a way to make it low carb. There's always a way to make it that way. There's, anymore, back in the day, let me go back into the day when low carb had first, I don't want to say first started because it first started many, many decades and decades ago. But when I found it, which was back in the, I don't know, late 80s is when I found low carb. At first, it really wasn't, we didn't have as many choices as we do now. I couldn't really find almond flour back then. I think it was like 1989 or 1990 when I first found it. But they had soy flour. And so I would use soy flour and stuff. I could get it at like a health food store. And now I would not use soy flour because I don't do so well with soy. But back then I was trying to do the baked goods that way. And if you look at like Chef George Stella, who wrote Living Low Carb, all those cookbooks, the wonderful cookbooks, the ones that he wrote recently are using almond flour, but the really old ones, he uses soy flour in those because that's what we had. And then, later on, I want to say maybe about 13 years later or so, low carb came around again and it got really popular. And so we had a place in town called Kristen's Low Carb Cafe, and there were a couple of places, a couple locations, and they had these low carb milkshakes, every kind of flavor you could have. And so it was like a protein milkshake, and they would just add, the sugar-free flavorings. And but they were low carb, and they were really good. But everything in that store was low carb. I mean, everything. They had like a little supermarket, and they had these freezers, and you can go and buy bagels and rolls and hot dog buns, and everything in there was frozen, but it was all low carb breads. And so then we made full use of it during that time because I had gone low carb again at that point, and it was real helpful. And then, of course, the diet craze changed, and low carb went out of style again, and so the low carb cafes kind of disappeared, and that was really unfortunate because I think they do really well now. Ironically enough, the location we used to go to for the low carb cafe became a Dunkin' Donuts now. And that's still what it is, but I haven't been in it. I haven't been back to that location for obvious reasons. But in any case, now, we can buy those specialty low-carb items almost anywhere. There were some things that I thought I could find at Whole Foods only, and I ended up finding them at Winco, which is a very general type of supermarket. So sometimes now, if you think you can only get things at like the specialty health stores, you can find them almost anywhere. And sometimes you can even get them like at the dollar store or the 99-cent store and get really good deals on them. So they're kind of prevalent now. It's not hard to find stuff that'll work into low carb or keto lifestyle now. So we have a lot more conveniences now because it's caught on. And so it's not hard. It's not hard to make the substitutions that you need now. You know what I mean? So if you want to go low carb, there's almost like no excuse not to do it because it's really easy. But anyway, I will let you go for now, and I will see you next time. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.